Ladies and gentlemen, this is super totally smoke 'em if you got 'em. And I just wanted to say Happy New Year to you, your family, your friends, Earth, the animals, planets, the sun, the moon, the stars, and all dimensions in between. I'm feeling pretty good right now, and so I thought I would open up the universe and my YouTube channel to any questions that anyone might have. Now, while I wait for the multitudes to gather into the room, I want to inform you that I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, written and directed by Quentin Tarantino with an all star cast. And that was super fantastic, man. I've always been a huge fan of Tarantino's work. If I had to pitch my style, it would be a cross between Tarantino and Spielberg, where you get some of the realism with a message combined with magical optimism. Because I am a Sagittarius, and we have been the optimists of the zodiac, which has been no small feat over the last decade. You know what, man? Earth and America is a free place. Asterisk, what am I even talking about? And so I recognize that many people on earth are absolutely addicted to fear, anger, hate, and blame. Anybody got a fifth one? I don't. Okay. And so that ain't me, bro. You know, if I die today, so be it. God willed it. If I die tomorrow, same shit. If I die 20 years from now, all right. And so that's kind of been my point here at Thorn News is like, why can't we learn to have fun again? Why does everybody hate fun so much? Why have you let the powers that be code your mind to always think negative? I'm not talking about you, Asteroid Fight Club. You are badass. I'm technically just talking to the camera until somebody asks a question. Yeah, it is going to be a wild and crazy year. 2020. Yo, yo, yo! That means you, which I will put into question form. Why am I me? Man, I don't know. I guess God, the universe, the stars, all my friends and family intended it that way. My favorite color is blue. Do not lick the like button. You might get a YouTube virus, which is not deadly, but it can be annoying. Tonight on 2020, earthquakes, instability, and outside music. Make sure you get your Budweiser vaccine ASAP. Or if you start smoking cigarettes now, I can't say this is a verifiable fact, but the tar that goes on your lungs may or may not help you avoid viruses and stuff. Who knows? Like, this is crazy. And I'm going to act like an ass idiot this time. I'm going to channel my best Chris Farley. I'm going to channel my best John Belushi. I'm going to channel my best Eddie Murphy. I'm going to channel my best Tracy Murphy. Morgan. Oh my God. Because that's what I'm wondering about. Okay, so here's the fucking deal that I really want to talk about, man. The other day, I'm working on an edited video. Bill Murray, of course. That, like, they moved the doomsday clock to 100 seconds. All right? And so I'm like, well, it's a par on course and shit. And so my point is, they showed a thing that said the furthest away we've ever been from the doomsday clock is 1991. Now I'm going to put a pin in that story while I answer his question. Are we close to the 1500s as far as astrology goes? I would say yes. And there's definitely a Reformation vibe going on right now. Like everything is being reformed. What up, Austin? And what was going on in the 1500s? You had the Reformation. You had the Catholic Church was like the be all end all. They were the narrative. They were pretty much the only narrative for a large portion of Europe, if I understand it correctly. And if you disagreed, they hung you up or they put you in an Iron Maiden or they did whatever, right? And so we are in that exact same period. And I don't mean to insult my Astro Fight Club members, but politics is fucking bullshit, man. You know, like I can't even express to you like how much of this shit is scripted. How much like the politicians are a lower level on the giant fucking pyramid of control. And so whether it be Brexit or our political system or all political systems, you can see they're keeping waters churning, but it's all heading towards a very specific place. Another thing that I have noticed is like you can't win. When I'm like, man, you know what we got to do is we got to unite. We got to work together. People are like, you can't do that. The beast, that's the beast system. The beast system. That's evil. That's what the devil would do. He would have people working together and building cool stuff. We must stick to a petrocentric war economy. I'm like, okay, first of all, if it's the word of God, that means it's coming no matter what. So can you fight it and not have it come? Or like, is it just gonna come? Either way, it's best to do the best that you can. Oh, elderberry, honey wine, help me now. What the fuck happened to romance, man? Okay, so the point of my story was that we are now at 100 seconds to doom midnight. And so it said, hey man, do you know when the most farthest away we've ever been from the midnight doom, total disaster, apocalypse, Armageddon? 1991. The research, and I've discussed many times how the peak period, America was greatest from 88 till Kurt Cobain died. That was when like racism, like it was just a much better place. And if you look at 1991, you had Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, REM, U2, like Marky Mark's Funky Bunch. I mean, it was like the 91, 90, that was when like rock and roll and the human spirit was like, yay, everything is possible. We are the world. We can do it together. And that they killed Kurt Cobain, Tupac, Biggie, and took absolutely full control of the music industry. Like they've taken absolute full control of your TV. And for the most part, not counting Quentin Tarantino, they've taken full control of your movies. And so it's just, if there wasn't a clear sign, other than like look at the doomsday clock over the history, the best period has been 1991. And so what happened was they took the mail and they made you either worship Trump or made you hate him like the Antichrist. That they turned our rock and roll is now politics. Our movies is now politics. Our like everything is politics. It is absolutely the most maddening thing. And the reason that our whole world is in a shithole is because all 380 billion people look to one man to fix everything. And technically, we know that Trump is basically just going to do what the Republican Party wants him to do. Democrats are just going to do what the Democrat Party wants them to do, and the income equality amongst human beings is going way down. Though technically, I think Trump may be working behind the scenes to make things better, but in that same line, well, so is Obama and so is Putin. And I know that fucking freaks people out. But hey, man, if you want to think that Trump is saving the world, making a better place, then I want to think that most of the good men and women are working to make the world a better place. Because with great power comes great responsibility. Unless you're a female pop star, then you can just do what thou wilt. Whatever. Okay, so what kind of questions do we got? Is the astrology like the 1500s? Yes, where your overarching narrative control systems are like the Catholic Church. And the only thing they're going to feed you every day is politics. Like, for fuck's sake, man, I told you guys they were not going to remove him from office. It's a total shit show clusterfuck. But both sides are like buying into it, and I want to get past it so much. And there are signs. So I'm asking you, don't lose hope. Okay, it seems oddly timed that the new coronavirus was released to spread during the 2020. But I mean, okay, somebody mentioned something about losing our president in an unfortunate fashion. As Planetary Defense Commander, at no point in time do I ever want to lose our president. It doesn't matter who it is. That as long as we maintain democracy, asterisk, like if we ever lost our president, whether it had been Obama or Trump, if we lose them in some type of an assassination attempt, that would take the roof off the whole house and things would just be bad. That to get to a better place, we must do it with new, higher vibration ways. You can't look at the old problems the old way and expect new solutions, man. It's just not, I mean, we are, like I was trying to point out, we are stuck in 1994. Does the entire universe orbit Texas? No. Well, I don't know. I think at some point Parks and Rec is the new Simpsons and we create this reality. So if the Simpsons is the number one uh narrative maker and we just need to make a better narrative. Free Sibians for every lady. What's a Sibian? Is that like a Syrian that grew up in Boston? But the whole thing is like, okay, let's look at the Wu Tang virus, the coronavirus, right? Like, at this point, it doesn't matter where it originated from. And I only say that along the lines of we aren't going to find out, man. And that a million YouTube videos are going to be made pontificating on it. But at this point, I do not believe we are ever going to figure out where that thing came from. I mean, and it's kind of like why, like, I'm still stuck. I say this all the time. I'm still stuck on Building 7. Remember how Twin Towers fell? And then Building 7 just fell? Like, nothing hit it, and it fell right in its footprint. That was crazy. And I was like, hey, man, why'd Building 7 fall? And then, like, a day later, to try and get me from asking that question, they released Anthrax in the United States. Boom! Obi-Wan Kenobi. Thank you. May the Force be with you always. I appreciate it. And so, like, literally, it turns out the Anthrax probably came from a Texas A&M lab. Gig 'em, but not in that case. But that's what I'm just talking about. Like, one of the frustrating parts of Thor News Planetary Defense Commander is that over the next 6 months, I'm technically treading water with my back up against the wall, and we need some of the major power players to make major moves. That we are all in this together. Dude, high ground. Yeah. That, you look at, no, not to pick on, I mean, you got the people who have the stage, the people who have the microphone, the people who have the money. Okay, I want to remind you another thing. I know I'm jumping all over the place. But if you've stayed with me and if you've ever been part of Follow the Money, you would know that there's like 100 trillion hidden in the Cayman Islands. And that I don't believe the majority of everyone top to bottom has a lot of the good information or has put all the pieces of the puzzle together. And so can you imagine, just like Building 7 went down, boom. Can you imagine if there was a major disaster at the Cayman Islands? You would lose $100 trillion worth of money and records. And I'm sure they have backed up somewhere, but it's all a slippery clusterfuck. And then somebody's out there like, dude, I have Bitcoin. I'm not worried. All I'm trying to say is that whether it be the richest people on the planet, the most talented people on the planet, the coolest people on the planet, the hardest work. Like, those are the people we need to start making moves forward. And that sounds good. Yeah, and the weather seems to have calmed down. So now we gotta. But wait. I know I'm jumping, but I'm reading the chat. But that's the whole thing: is the media has trained people, the social network, like, and remember that's all owned by a little group. They've trained that you hate immigrants, you hate refugees, you hate homeless, you hate the poor, you hate the middle class. Like, they know that in any type of normal, balanced society, emotionally, that if the people were in the world, they would be like, hey, why are 36 people allowed to have 95% of all the cash, all the land, and all the power in the world? And so they use that energy, I believe, to spread around and blame everybody else so it doesn't come full back on us. The best case example was you had the 2008 crash, right? Like, the whole economy grind to a halt because 7 banks failed on the same day. And so what did they do? Like, within 3 days, they set up Occupy Wall Street camps, like, all over the major spots, so that the anger and the focus literally went to, like, Occupy Wall Street. People weren't really mad at the banks. They were like, hey, get these dirty hippies off of my streets. They're pooping on my street, man. They're pooping on my street. And there are two things that get conservatives riled up: Hillary Clinton and people pooping in the streets. And I don't know. They're like, dude, the homeless people are pooping in the streets. It's like the same story out of San Francisco for the last 2 years. They're like, how can we handle this? And even the president will be like, how dare you, governor, let homeless people poop in the streets? And dude, I'm with the homeless people. I'm always half a step away, and that, it's, they call it the weakest link. And as long as we abuse our homeless, as long as we abuse the quote unquote poor, which I'm one of, like, we will not make it to the next level. I mean, it's like, I wish I could put this eloquently. We're concerned with the needles, though. But like somebody said, like, but dude, how many times did you choke on? I'm not a mom. I don't have kids. I don't have kids at all. And I have found people who have children seem to be more responsible in a large scale of things. Like, look, darling, I gave birth to these kids, and I don't have time to worry about the overall plan because I got kids to take care of. So me, I don't have kids. And so I got to worry about everybody. You're all my kids, basically. And so when was the last time you heard someone choke? Like, oh my God, I was running, I was jogging, and I tripped and I fell, and a syringe went right into my face, and I lost my eyeball. And then I rolled over into some homeless poop and got the San Francisco virus. And now the radar GPS won't work on my SUV. Dads too, but remember, the last decade, dads don't get any credit. Like, man hating has been the theme of the decade. As we got rid of rock and roll, and I love women. You are all my children. Oh yeah, okay, sorry. Sometimes I confuse myself. I want to say again, I love y'all. But it's been a wild ride, right? Like, it's been a strange. And I want to give a shout out to Harley Quinn, 8Ball, and JC. Let me tell you a quick story, because I've hung out with Harley once down in Nassaville. And so she texted me like, hey, I'm coming to get you for the new moon. And I was like, no, I fear you're with Redacted Team and you're going to kill me. So I turned my phone off, locked my door, and went straight to sleep. Next thing I know, bang, 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 bang. There are 2 women in my door going, come on out, we're going to celebrate. I was like, all right, you got me. And so that night we went and we drank and we vaped. And then we tied glow sticks to nunchucks and to the end of a giant pool cleaner, and I swung it around. And down in Nashville, Orion was coming up, and you could see Beetlejuice's two shoulders. And yeah, Beetlejuice is dimming, but it's like the two shoulders are now almost equal visibility. And then we went to a new, in the middle of the coronavirus madness, I went to a lunar festival. Oh my God. And I'd always, because I used to date Asian Chinese women, I always heard about the red envelope. And I was like, kick ass, dude. I got my first red envelope ever. But it ended up being a Yang Gang dollars. And I was like, what? What can I use this for? And they're like, you can redeem it at a Yang Gang Bang. I was like, it's not my cup of tea, man. I'm like, what? I might have a fantasy of cuddling with two women, one on the inside spoon and then one on the outside spoon, and maybe one that lays over me. And so they smell good and I sleep real well. But political orgies don't sound delicious to me. Although I did see some attractive Asian ladies. I went to an Asian market. Oh, yeah. And so if I do die of the coronavirus, I want to say that this peanut sauce I got at the Asian market is totally worth it. This peanut sauce is badass. And then, we went to a Asian market and a Asian sandwich place where they had tons of amazing sandwiches, and they were all $2. And they were like, this giant. All right, I probably overemphasized that a bit. Much love. But yeah, okay, so the basic point of this video, while I wait for great questions, is, dude, if the world's going to end, can't we at least have fun? Yeah, I don't think I'm getting the coronavirus. And I respect Kobe, and he was definitely one of the hardest workers, best players, but I've always been Team Shaq. Kobe seemed like a good dad. I know that I looked into some of the QAnon conspiracies on Kobe. I don't even, I think it's best if you have something negative to say about somebody, if they die, wait a week. So I try and follow that. I mean, although I don't have anything against Kobe, I am so ready to get out of the foxhole. That's what I was trying to say. And so I know that sometimes I can be really funny in the camera on the microphone, but I was like, dude, am I still funny with people? And we went out that day and I was hilarious. I had one-liners like zing, zang, zoom. Did you take InfoWars Brain Force? Not yet. Am I packed? I don't know. Because now you're like I said, it's my alarm bells go off because people have been trying to kill me. I still get some of the crazy people who are like, I win wheel money if you die. I'm going to beat you with an iron rod. I'm like, whatever, bro. Am I taking iodine? I'm taking cigarettes. You may laugh, but I think nicotine, and okay, I gotta stay cool. And I gotta get this third light so that my beautiful blue eyes shine. Am I baked? No. Because here's the deal. Either the weed that magically fell out of the sky into the parking lot that I picked up and have smoked once or twice in the last week, either that shit is weak or 2020 is so intense. It's just, you can't, it's like hurricane season. I can't get high during hurricane season. So baked, no. And I gotta, boom, thank you, Kenobi, baked. Dude, definitely legalize marijuana. Texas is taking some weird steps. Oh, I got a gift in the mail from one of my angels today. And so it's a bucket because several people lately have been like, I fear something big is going to happen. And so definitely possible. But I got a supply of traveler stew and creamy chicken flavored rice. Oh yeah, Valentine's Day is coming up. Maple Grove oatmeal Whereas I don't know if any woman is ever going to be powerful enough to break the Taylor Swift curse that I've been under for like 2 years and a month. I guess I can hold out a little hope. And so, woman, if you're out there, oh, you gotta kind of look like a supermodel. I don't know why God built me that way, but He did. Buttermilk pancake mix. We could build a pillow fort, and then we could make some survivor foods of like work, and then we could put on like headbands and stuff, and we could pretend like it's the end of the world and light a bunch of candles and then make out. You can break your own curses, dude. Yeah, but here's the thing. People say that I'm shallow because I'm only attracted to these like a tiny percentage of women, but you're only attracted to who you're attracted to. And every woman I've always kissed has been prettier than the last and cooler than the last. So I've kind of walled myself into a corner, you know? I had some hopes about Selena, but she's still crying about Justin Bieber. And I don't mean to diminish whatever pain you're going through or have been through, but technically, dude, we've all, almost the majority of us, have been through some really abusive relationships. And so, as my stepfather used to say, in the most important of times, get over it. Move on. You'll heal. What's it talking about? Oh, yeah. I know. So I got a list of like 12 women I would kiss. And so, sure, if any of those women want to hang out and eat some Southwest rice while we read from the book of Revelation and Nostradamus, we can do that. Was there any ice cream in here? I should do a Survivor cooking show. And I'm not making fun of it, dude. Shit could go sideways fast. Home style potato soup. All right, what were we talking about? My stepdad was an amazing Air Force guy and one of the coolest humans on the planet. I want to see, this may be foreign to all of y'all, but my dad, who was also an Air Force guy, who like pretty much, they would leave me like out in the woods. They would leave me in the middle of Chicago, not Jim, but my parents all trained me to be smart, tough, question everything. Like my parents almost raised me to be a Star-Lord, Planetary Defense Commander leader, you know? And so that the millennials or the parents today are the exact opposite of how my parents raised me. One of the greatest best friends I had of all time, who like we were the buddy duo of like Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. For now, he's his name Jack Steele. Dude, I know last I heard Jack Steele, no disrespect, Jack, but like his 13-year-old's never eaten fast food. His 13-year-old was drinking like $80 milk. Like, where he's like, I don't ever want him to, like, I don't know. I'm just saying that, like, the kids, seems like the kids today are super coddled, kept in a bubble, and they're like, we don't ever want their feelings to get hurt, and we don't ever want them to lose. But I know nothing about parenting, so now that I've offended everyone, I apologize. We're all different people on different paths, and that I definitely believe that this has been my path, and that this is what I was built to do, and I definitely need to do a better job. Dude, the energy's been weird. Yeah, everyone is distracting. I'm trying to answer questions. Ooh, so the core lesson is political money is virtually worthless. Humanity first. I can get into that though. But to put a humanity first on $1,000 bill is kind of like saying, "In God we trust" on the back of a, you know, Bitcoin. But I want to remind everybody, in a real economic crash, everything gets nailed to the floor. And I'm trying to talk to some Bitcoiners the last 2 days saying, I think we have a crash coming this year. And they were like, whatever, old man. Like, just because I'm going to die doesn't mean I'm going to commit suicide. Like, if you even suggest, like, hey, man, at some point, they're going to cool off the markets. So maybe sell your shit now and rebuy it when it's at half price or 75% price. Seems insulting. Like, that's one of the craziest shit about all of this is the idea that the markets can either crash or correct. People are like, what? Follow your gut and heart, and you're a great person. Bitcoin. And so, what was I going to say? Thank you, Kenobi. Wait, Thor wants a supermodel. Thor, go be a superman. No, I want a superhero woman. I want a female version of me. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, that seems like anything close to a female version of me is always like, I want as much fame and money as I can get. My insecurities can only be filled with the world cheering my name, or people looking at the car I drive recognizing that I made it, that I'm a self-made woman. I want to say to Taylor, I was a little disappointed, darling, when you won your lifetime award and you didn't thank your mom, you didn't thank your dad, you didn't thank Selena, you didn't thank your friends, you didn't thank God, you didn't thank anybody. Except you were just like, fuck yeah, I'm badass. I mean, even Ricky Henderson thanks somebody else. I don't know. But I love you, girl. But yeah, I don't want a fucking supermodel. I want someone who's badass, cool, down to earth, and that like has great energy. You want to know what? I have great energy. 90% of the time, I'm funny or I'm cool, or like if I need to be, if I'm supposed to be silent, like I can hang in a group well. Do I want her to sound like Alex Jones? Well, no, but like remember Demi Moore had a low raspy voice. So if I dated a girl with a low raspy voice, I wouldn't really mind. Wait, Alexis? Yeah, definitely Alexis Knapp is probably the most physically attractive human being I've ever laid eyes on in my entire life in person. Is that the question, Noodles? Much love to everybody. Yeah, it's like you gotta. I don't like the last decade has been like conform. You either are the blue team or the red team. Like you gotta conform. You gotta believe. There's only two choices. And remember, in the '90s, like we were talking about, for everybody who's just joined us, what I was saying earlier was they moved the doomsday clock from 2 minutes to midnight to 100 seconds to midnight, right? I was like, ooh, so 2020. And then I checked in and it said the farthest we've ever been away from the doom was 1991. And the whole point of Thor News is that, like, yeah, dude, rock, like, what is baseball, rock and roll, and apple pie. It's like we let that narrative group totally get rid of manhood, rock and roll, and the American spirit. We let them just shit all over it, and they tarred it with the political people who just like literally negative all the fucking time, and are always on a digital warpath to take out, their enemies. And so we have to bring rock and roll back. We do. There was a point in July where I was surrounded by a bunch of famous people, like in the same room. And I thought that was the step we were going towards. But hell no, shit fell off a cliff right after that. And so you know, that like, it's just like you can't, rock and roll is a group. We need music. Humanity needs music. Humanity needs new, great music every day that keeps us driving forward. And that's what I would die for freedom for everybody. I would die for world peace, and I would definitely die for rock and roll. That, you know, it was like no disrespect, but even at the Grammys, they were like, it is time we start letting women have some say and some power in music. And it's like, where the fuck have you been for a decade? Like they literally haven't allowed like rock and roll anywhere close since Disney, like, boom. They're like, I don't know, just say blaming everything on men, and especially like literally Selena, Ariana, Taylor, Adele. Like the last 5 to 10 years, the music industry's been shaped by these Disney prophets, and that, with no disrespect, the most thing they ever say is, I want more money, I want more fame, or I didn't get my fair share. Fuck, I didn't win this award. Oh, but Taylor does have a documentary coming out on Netflix on the 31st. I'm not trying to be a dick. Oh, someone asked what's my favorite color. Yeah, I'm fucking like. One time, Taylor, I was there. Taylor was like, "Yeah, we're keeping a boot heel on the neck of rock and roll." That was the most like X-Men evil shit I'd heard. To know, and I'm not blaming her, but to know that like people are literally preventing rock and roll to get to the public, preventing good music that inspired, like even the Black Eyed Peas. Like holy shit, if you go back and listen to their like, what the fuck are we fighting for music? Like the spirit of rock and roll, the spirit of the people who can stand up and say, "Hey, this is all wrong. Like, don't believe in this political bullshit." They gutted them all, and that the overriding message of pop music today seems to be like, buy as much as you can, get as much fame as you can, don't give anyone else credit around you. It's all you. Like it's created this Thunderdome fucking effect. And so, though I love all my X-Men women, you know that like today I googled Selena Gomez and she's like, Justin Bieber's a dick. You Kenobi. And then you Google Taylor and she's like, Scooter's a dick. And it's like, I don't know, man. Having the president and then Selena and Taylor paint themselves as the greatest fucking victims of ever. It's what I'm talking about. Like, you have volcanoes popping off, like viruses, disease, homeless, and it's like, dude, you have the biggest platform, you have millions of dollars, you have access to fucking everything, and you're doing. We need your help, ladies. Rock and roll must return. Okay, take like personal responsibility. But dude, it's best if we just convert everybody to cool people. That's the whole thing. Is I don't have any desire to like to punish a bunch of fucking people unless like if people can't stop molesting children, people can't stop raping, or people can't stop murdering. Yes, you gotta get rid of it. Like there is a tiny fraction of society that we gotta insulate ourselves and get rid of or incarcerate. But everybody else, like it's like 99.9% of the people. And so what I'm saying is I'm just I'd much rather bring the people together and elevate people and inspire them to reach their higher selves, that is in a narrative sense that is like the coolest shit ever. And and it's a great superpower. And I've done it before where people become more Thor-esque, or people are like, you know what, I see the upside to being a cool person. Dutch Synth is back. Yes, and I intend to make a video on it, but the whole true community shit is weird, and I've always liked Dutch, and I don't know why he took. I know that YouTube's a dick. I don't know, man. I just was it talking about? Yeah, dude. That's why I say how fucking in a perfect world it would be so cool if I could literally like 3 minutes a day or 3 minutes a week call up even Dutch and SO and be like, hey, dude, I got a fucking question. Let me answer it. Instead of this, like I said, it's the truth community's not. I don't know. It reminds me of American Idol, but I like Dutch, and I definitely they have so much. Even the good work that with Earthquakes that Ben does, like there's literally a giant fucking team who's out there to discredit. You even mention any of their two names to any scientist, volcano, earthquake in the world, they'll be like, those guys are snake oil salesmen and they kill babies. Like we're talking about, and Dutch is. Anytime Dutch and Ben have basically said, watch this area, something happens there 80% of the time. And so that's what I don't get is that you literally have a well-paid team out there to discredit anyone who's on YouTube, and then to have YouTube fight amongst themselves is just like the dumbest fucking strategy of all time. And being Gen X, I give credit to my mentors that part of the reason, it started with Comet Elenin, and really Comet Ison drew us, how like what comet was it? It made all the crazy people kill themselves, right? I forget that comet. But apparently, when Ison came around, it made all the crazy people start YouTube channels. And so the giant surge, which included me, started with Ison. Like Ison really kicked off the whole 7 year cycle that we went through. And so that is why, even though I can't fucking believe that the entire truth community is like, Trump never makes a mistake. Bitcoin will save your lives. Trust QAnon. Like, I just can't believe the homogenous political attitudes of those dudes. Dutch Sense, Dabu, and Ben were here before me, and I wouldn't have started a channel without them. And so, I give credit where credit is due. That, like, when it comes to this earthquake period, that, like, your two best sources on earthquake locations are Dutch Sense and then Suspicious Observers. And so it's just, I don't know, man, between the pop stars and the truth community, it's like I wish our most talented people would really figure out a way to work together, because like, even with Oppenheimer, like, at some point they believe in what they're telling people. You can't do weather, space weather, as much as I do or anybody else does continually and only give a fuck about money. I don't think that's how it works. Like, you have to be a partial nerd scientist searching for the truth, trying to figure things out. And so I don't think at any point any of them's number one motivation was ever money. And so that's why, like, having the whole community fight with each other is just the dumbest shit, because there are people who only worry about money who are gonna fight, like, who are literally working to control the shit. That make any sense there? All right. Why won't my cigarette stay lit? I think I can conclude the stars were made out of salt water. Yeah, rock and roll. Like, and it's like I've talked about that if I was allowed to do anything, that no matter what, like I don't know, the best voice out there to me right is Kelly Clarkson, but like the whole, like, I would so take like Taylor, Selena, even Ariana, like, and do like a rock and roll, like, put them in a very Evanescence models with like, we really need rock and roll anthems. And for the last 3 to 5 years, I have been asking, whether it be the males or the females who are the pop, like, we need motherfucking anthems, people. Like, we need to start to jack up the human spirit, and that people will respond to it. But remember, it's much harder to go against any type of controlled mafia than you think. That I don't have kids. I live in a fucking foxhole. So I can do or say what I want and I'm still under threat at all time. But most people can't, because, like, I have a very talented, pretty cool, very take care of themselves family. So if my family weren't made up of total fucking badasses, I couldn't do this. And so not everybody can buck the system completely, or they will fuck you up. So, so that's why, like, I only try to tongue lash people when I have to, but I don't ever, like, I understand what most people are fucking dealing with, man. Like, everybody's kind of been in a shitty spot. But everything's changing. You can see that. I can see that. And more days that we move into the future, we are getting closer to a better place, because all the old shit is unraveling. All these people I talked to, thanks Nathan, who before were stubborn, like, we don't want to change. Like, I literally had people who were pretty super connected telling me we can have the old oil war money system for 30 more years. And then they reduced it to like 25 years. And then it was like 22 years. And clearly now people know that this 1980 to 2020 system is just pretty much going by the wayside. That everything we know is changing, and that the the radical part is there are a lot of people somewhere near the upper echelon who may have been guiding a lot of this to get us to the place we need to be as fast as possible. You ever think about that? Do you ever really think about the Snape effect? It's true. That's why it's best not to just talk shit about people till you know everything we're dealing with. We are the binary stars who made this free will zone. I believe we're all the children of God. Like we were created in God's image, and in our own way, we are little gods. Though we did not create the universe, and none of us, as far as I know, sacrificed their life and everything for the sins of all humanity and wiped away original sin. And literally, like I would say, there was a single thing that the fact that Jesus Christ could be nailed to a cross and forgive everyone is like the coolest superheroes moment of all. And so I had a dream once that Domino's Pizza was the first pizza company to deliver pizza drones. That's some cool, man. But I don't know, if my dreams came true, I would be making out way more than I do in real life. So that's why I don't know, I've been having cool dreams lately. Yeah, but whoa. Well, hello, ma'am. Okay, see, it is crazy, but my optimism is still pretty high because we're we're in the grand transition. You know that like this is what I've been talking about, Asteroid Fight Club style, for years. And technically, I started talking about it. Uh, I really started talking about it in the mid '90s, and then I started talking about it in the early 2000s, and have been talking about it to a lot of people for a long time. That we will be making a transition from the old way into the new way, and it's best if we do it the best way possible. But that teamwork is the only way we're going to make it. And the fact that we're still here, society's still standing, World War III hasn't broken out. So say we are actually doing better or pretty good. I don't like to say that a lot because, it's kind of like my mom's theory. Is when I said that my parents trained me to be tough, super, and awesome. When I'd ever give my mom anything, I'm like, Mom, what grade do I get? She goes, D minus. You need to work harder. So I'd always go off and be like, I'll show her. I'm going to work harder and get a B plus. And then the next time, D minus. And that as I've gotten older, I understand that. Like, and so that's why I pass that along to you guys, even when you're doing super and awesome. I sometimes I'm scared to say, hey guys, we're doing great because I don't want you guys letting your guard down, and I don't want you guys getting cocky. But think about this, man. If we make it, when we get to a much better place in this world, think how great that will be. Like, we will all be heroes. That we will have conquered the multiple mistakes of history in a grand way. And it will be it'll be like, that is when we make it suit. Like, that is the coolest stuff ever. It's like turning Earth into a really bad party. And I'm talking about like a birthday party or a New Year's party, like that type of party where nobody's dancing and everybody's arguing, into a place where there's great food, everybody's dancing, we're all building stuff with kick-ass crafts and services. We just need to inject a whole lot more Parks and Rec into our day-to-day life because we need a whole lot of new infrastructure. We need to build a lot of new things. And so by everyone working together, we can get there. But it's probably going to be a really bumpy ride in the next year, for sure. And like I said, today, if the Cayman Islands would have fallen into the ocean, that would have been a big economic problem. And we probably have another economic downturn coming. And that everything, like the systems have to continue to break. You can't have everything break at once and still maintain it. And so I give a lot of credit to Trump and Obama for no matter what they're keeping this weird thing. They've kept it up and running, and that even Putin and all you see all these conflicts, but that it's all being kept together, and so they are the ones giving us the chance to make the bigger steps, and there are people above them giving us a chance to make the world a better place. Sing us a song. Oh, I would, but I don't have a. Both G strings are broken on both my guitars. I have to order more acoustic guitar strings. Unless someone wants to be an angel and a saint and send me some in the mail. And if you were a lady and you just showed up, mac and cheese. If you want to have a Survivor, fourth, wait, what is it? February, Valentine's Day. I'm your man. Blessings to everyone. I don't know. I've been in a strangely good mood, and I'm optimistic as things are. But yeah, no. But it goes back to the point of that they're keeping the narrative in a cage, and they're keeping rock and roll in a cage, and that the day those cages are opened, like you're gonna see things improve greatly. You're gonna see like humanity kind of snap out of a spell, like, oh yeah, I forgot. We are the children of God. We are amazing creatures who have gotten to the edge every time, but then pulled ourselves back and improved. That I've mentioned many times that you have to give our civilization from 2000 to now at least a B plus because we have been moving forward with progress incrementally the entire time. And so you have like your retrograde patterns where civilization gets heavily retrograde on its old where it doesn't want to give up its bad habits. And that so that would be great. Like they're just regular two acoustic guitars because what I do and thank you whoever sent me those two guitars, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. The fact that I have, and this is the first time in my life I've had two acoustic guitars. So usually I have one tuned to E and then one tuned to D, and it's so cool. Just be like, which one do I want? And so like, I feel like a rich man because I have two acoustic guitars. But if I could definitely learn a different strumming pattern or a different chord progression, then I will feel super rich. And so I don't, they, we're not that far away. It's like by starving us, they, it's like the bowstring where we're being pulled one way, and that we're finally resisting it, and that when it gets let go, man, it's just gonna fly. And people are like, I'm a cool human being that likes to be creative in my own person. We're gonna get back to, good stuff. Music, but yeah, music is the key. And it's one of the reasons that technically I've been recruiting all the X-Men women and guys from like the music industry of like nothing gets into people's minds and spirits faster than music. Like you can bring 1,000,000 people together, 100,000 people together and have them all celebrate like music. And so that's what like you can have a really bad day and if you hear a brand new song you've never heard or your favorite song on the radio, like instantly you're like, boom, I can do it. When you work out, you're using your best music that so that's why these are it's been tactical and a strategy for me to have focused and has concentrated so much energy on these people because the music is kind of the sail for the whole world, and that you can't fault the people who have kind of been in the system because they weren't really powerful enough to just kind of change it all together by themselves. They needed some super radical leader, badass, to come along and do it, I guess, or whatever. I don't know. I get too cocky sometimes. Here we go. This is only my second cigarette. Noodles. Oh, and speaking of that, one day I would like to have a screenwriter slash executive producer bender, where like a bunch of cool people go out on a 2 day trip and we talk about like my 12 movie ideas that are totally original. And then, each one can have one during the streaming wars and shit. Because rock and roll is a big part of American Bicycle Club, but also so is fist fighting and all the secret societies and stuff. That's a really cool thing. Vancouver. I'm waiting for the time is right. It's like I'm very mercurial. So I've been between the public and the secret world. And so I'm pretty sure I have a lot of people in the secret world who think I'm pretty amazing. And so when the green light is given, when people are allowed to work together again, that is the day I look forward to even more than having sex again. Because sex may be really great for anywhere from 3 minutes to an hour. But when you make something cool with other people, that lasts the test of time and the test of your life. And I've always wanted to do like a Thor jam where a bunch of people get together and we play and sing. Um, you guys didn't ask a lot of questions, or I wasn't looking down at the right spot. But I'd just like to wrap this up with I love you guys. Yes, it's crazy, but we're gonna make it. I can see these. No. Thor jam. I think we're gonna make it. Blue from the big blue bowl of rolling waters. Just I don't know, like, and I'm gonna get to drive a car again someday. Man, I miss listening to the radio driving around. But I was thinking about that. Like one of the greatest pleasures in life is when you're driving around and then you hear a brand new song come on the radio. That was like the coolest shit ever. Why did you not get a notification for this? Well, like I've said, that I don't know. I'm kept in a little shadow box. So even though I have 55,000 subscribers, the most you'll ever see on my live stream is 50, and my views will pretty much always hover near nothing. And then people were like, "Ha ha, you don't get a lot of views." I'm like, "No." But when I do walk outside the house, everybody's like, "Hey, Thor," and that includes from the richest of the rich to the famous of the famous. So my message is getting out there. That the right people seem to find this at the right times when need be. And the Asteroid Fight Club is stronger than ever. I mean, think about it. It was like through all the shit that I've been through all the attacks, the death threats, almost died, came close to dying. I have never been more confident in my ability to survive and stay cool through all the bullshit. This is I mean, it's what's it is weird is like I've never been a fan of fame. Fame always seemed real weird, like sketchy. And so this is kind of as famous as I'd like to be. I always said many times in my life, I run from fame. Like I don't. It's a weird deal, man. Like, and then it goes to your head because when I take days off, it's like when I connect, we're connecting right now energetically, and when you watch my videos, we're connecting, and so I can feel it on your side, and I can feel it on my side, and that's another reason why I try to be humorous or cool or funny because I can't even imagine like giving you information that makes you angry or pissed or feel gross and then having that come back to me. I just burped on camera. Oh my God, I'm never going to get to kiss a pretty lady yet. I miss being able to refer to women as girls. The saying used to be, I'm never going to get to kiss a pretty girl again. But in today's world, man, they'd be like, you're a pedophile. Like, no, man. Although I've said I would make out with Billie Eilish, who's 18, but 18 is legal in every country. And her midi-chlorian count is off the fucking charts. Plus, she's gorgeous. And so, if we did get married and have babies, our babies would have the coolest, bluest, greenest, magicalest eyes of all fucking time. You know? Um, them vaccines kill the reproduction. Not as much as third base. Best dad, Thor. Yeah, I technically think I would be like the greatest dad of all time. And I would look so forward to the point where your kids grow up and they can ask you questions. Because I read a lot of Calvin and Hobbes. So I think being half Calvin and half Calvin's dad has me totally prepared. I know, but at this point, if somehow I did make some money, you know what? I would probably take 3 wives. That way, they could all play defense. And somehow, since they'd all probably be like in their mid 20s, then if I do pass away 25 years from now, they can be old enough to take care of the kids when I'm gone. Is that too controversial? See, it's weird. It's like sometimes I fear, like, what are you allowed to fantasize about these days? Like, can I not even have just a funny, silly fantasy about marrying 3 women? Is that not legal anymore? Is that going to hurt somebody's feelings? But think about it. Like, if you have a woman behind you cuddling you and one in front and then one laying over the top, you're going to get some good sleep. And that's what this is really all about, good sleep. No, I'm not talking about like, I'm talking about, yeah, but that is one of the funny things is the date that I was on with Taylor. I tried to explain to her why I deserve 3 wives. She wasn't having it. I do think it would make a cool movie though. Anyway, I think I went off track. But yeah, bring back rock and roll. And one of them's got to be good at cooking bacon. Because isn't it great when you wake up and smell bacon or you wake up and smell breakfast is being cooked? And you guys are awesome. Oh, that was another point that I was trying to make about fame and success and numbers. Is that I've always just really wanted the coolest people who are smart, critical thinkers that have a sense of humor. And I don't mean this disrespectfully, but if you don't have a sense of humor, I really don't want you watching me. Like, if you can't find humor, like if you don't have a sense of humor, yeah, man, we're probably not going to get along. And that life is too short to hang out with people that just bring you down. Oh, speaking of that, I went through a thing where I watched a lot of the SNL stuff. Yeah, Kirk and the Debbie Downer skits. I think I'm going to cut some of those Debbie Downer skits back in because they were pretty, you know. And that's what something that has happened lately is that the people who are political experts feel that they're the political experts. So it's like no matter what conversation you have, if I'm talking about how great chocolate milk is, they're going to be like, yeah, but you not remember when Hillary Clinton took over the milk industry and then they were eating babies. It's like, man, I don't know. So it's like if you're an expert at a subject in a political forum or in a public forum, people try to turn it to their area of expertise. And politics is not fun or funny at all. Even political jokes aren't funny. The whole political system is like mental terrorism. Yeah, or imagination terrorism. Like Mitt Romney had chocolate milk today. A big no-no. You know what's even funny is like the remember Dan Quayle couldn't spell potato. I don't the whole like I did the funny things I've seen is who was the senator who literally told the ghost to get out of his chair? Did you guys see that? Like I don't, but there was a somebody said Al Gore invented the internet. But the day I got to meet the head of NASA at the time, he was there with Al Gore. That's a weird day. And I it, as if we make it, I'm gonna be so proud of everybody. That's all I'm saying is that like it's hard to tell who is Snape, who isn't Snape. Um, would you allow your children to lie to you and cheer them on to lead you and make decisions on your behalf? What? First of all, like the fight I always have is like, would I tell my children that Santa Claus is real? And I would say no. Like to me, it kind of It belittles Jesus Christ. I can't even imagine trying to explain to my son about Jesus Christ and be like, oh, and Santa Claus. But every single person, especially my age or along the way, that the kids love it so much, they have no choice but to tell, like, and a lot of Jewish people I've seen will celebrate, not a lot, but will celebrate, like, it just makes the kids so happy. And so there's this gate period of like, well, we got to make the kids happy. And so I get that, and I don't like. It's hard for me to talk about having what I would do when I had kids because I've never had them, and so apparently making your children happy is the greatest drug of all time. And so I know your question wasn't about that; it was weirder, but it's kind of like I've just the whole having Jesus and Santa Claus share the same day, or Jesus and the Easter bunnies share the same day, has always been kind of odd to me. Chuck Schumer, that was a crazy. And I just want to say this, like Trump is 70 plus, Biden is 70 plus, Sanders is 70 plus. Is Generation X ever going to get a chance at anything? You know that I'm just that generation has had a stranglehold on power and the narrative for like 50 years. It's really weird, man. Or 40 years. Thor for president. I, we'll make it. Yeah. I remind you of Jack Black. Well, stick around. I'll lose 50 pounds. And then I'll remind you of Leonardo DiCaprio or Brad Pitt, or I'm making it up. Keep those vibrations up. Yeah. You know, but even Jack Black has got a wife and kids. You know, I don't know. Trust me, if I could lower my standards, I would. My attitude's fine. And whether you know it or not, I've saved the world a couple times. And that is a pretty good feeling. But I mean, like, anger, it's just, it seemed like we could only change the world and move it forward at a specific time. And so now we're here. And so I'm just going to say thank you. I love you all. Thank you, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Wow. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to everyone who supported. And yeah, keep your vibe, like, try and minimize your anger and try and minimize. I always say this, that whatever the media is trying to point your attention at, that's not the thing you should be concentrating on. And that even there's a very James Bondy secret society aspect to all of this. And that some people play bad guys, some people you think are, like, wait until the chips are down and it's go time before you judge people because you don't know. And I'm not talking about like, there are evil people out there, but just I'm Planetary Defense Commander. I'm not the Punisher. Let the Punisher do his job. He's pretty good at it. And it's that big question of, let's say, even in the last 100 years, only 10% of the people died in the wars that we were told. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? It's very weird. Listen to what you think before others hear what you say. Change the world. That was the night when I went out for the Lunar New Year. Harley Quinn was saying, giving me advice on how to get better. And man, I enjoy improvement. I think the Punisher's born the Punisher. As a question answer. So yeah, happy Valentine's Day. We've only got 17 more days till the Valentine's chocolate is 50% off. And I'm technically proud of everybody that is crazy as it gets. Oh my God, downhill skiing sounds so much fun. And I love all the good people out there. And that As a Christian, no matter how you found your way to God and respecting other people and the planet, I respect that. Respect y'all. And I'm gonna have my emotional freakouts up and down. So I appreciate anytime y'all put up with me. And that I apologize for the times I have been a jerk and the times I have been wrong. Uh, and seriously, Selena, if you need someone to take your fucking mind off Justin Bieber, I fucking volunteer. Though I don't want to be pulled around like a goddamn puppet on a string because as a planetary defense commander, I don't have time or energy to put my energy in places that aren't going to lead to good things. Though I think you and Dave Grohl could probably write some good songs together when rock and roll is allowed. And Kelly Clarkson, I totally love you. I don't know if you guys knew that. Kelly Clarkson was my absolute next door neighbor. Like I could throw a football and hit her bedroom window from my fence if I wanted to. Although that sounds creepy. Um, and so I love Kelly and her music. Not answering my emails for like 2 years thinking I'm CIA. I don't know if you're talking about me, but the information I get, it's just like I've only got 55. I don't know. I never know what anybody sends me, and I never know what they filtered out. I know that anytime I stream it, so I don't. I've heard people say that they've left hundreds of comments on my videos and they never respond. I never know. Like all the stuff that gets to me is filtered through a bunch of stuff. Still the Star Lord, yeah. But I want to be like Andy in Parks and Rec, where I'm chubby now, and then I get the girlfriend, and then I lose the 50 pounds, even though I'm already the Star Lord. And I want to go drinking with you guys. That's what I want to go on a bender, meaning like I want to go on a pub crawl in different cities. I want to go on a fun adventure like I used to do the majority of my whole life, where we go out, we dance, we drink, we celebrate, we go look at cool stuff, and we have a contest to see who can say the funny stuff the most often. If you have a group of people who communicate well together and everybody takes turns being funny, that is like the best that life gets. You know? But no, hopefully we got great times ahead. And I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Come to New Mexico. Dude, if I got a car anywhere in the future, like I'm gonna be in that thing driving everywhere because I miss driving so much. And New Mexico is gorgeous. What if you're not funny and you like to laugh? A, everybody who's ever hung out with me for an extended period of time gets funny. Like, but I mean, it's not a competition, that, and technically you're the dry man or the straight man. So there's a rhythm that people get into. And most, I don't know, it's if you have a good energy core, that it makes everything better and it makes everybody better. And we can get there. But we're gonna need rock and roll again. Okay, I love you guys. Stay cool. You all are the best. And yeah, it's gonna be a weird 9 months, but keep the faith, y'all. Stay cool.